Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. There is good news front at the moment, and I am pleased to actually share this news with you all. And that is the transgender swimmer known as Leah Thomas, the cheat Leah Thomas, I should say. Now, I'm only using Leah Thomas's preferred name, but I won't use the pronouns because I refuse to do that. I'm only using Leah Thomas's preferred name because, as we know, we can't do anything wrong on this particular platform, right? So that's the reason why I'm doing it. And the article that I'm reading from happens to be left-leaning. They use Leah Thomas's preferred pronouns and all that nonsense and business that goes along with it. So the transgender swimmer Leah Thomas loses legal challenge in CAS ruling, which means that Leah Thomas will not be competing in the most prestigious sporting event in the world, known as, you guessed it, the Olympics. Hallelujah. There's a little bit of sanity still left in sports. Now, it's not to say that the NCAA and all of the other swimming competitions that Leah Thomas has cheated in and basically made a name for Leah's self, I guess you could say, because of it. It's not to say that Riley Gaines isn't competitive or a great swimmer. It's not to say or take away from any of the women that compete at very, very high levels. But what I am trying to say is the Olympics is the tip of the iceberg, essentially, for a lot of people. You spend 4 years training intense sessions just so that you can compete in a couple of events for the Olympics. You can get the glory and get to call yourself an Olympic medalist if you win, or even if you just go. That's a huge achievement, right? But alas, it's not going to be an achievement for Leah Thomas because, well, the Olympics have gone, no, hell no, are we going to allow a transgender swimmer, Leah Thomas, even though Leah identifies as being a woman, even though we know Leah Thomas is not a woman, we're not going to allow Leah to compete in the Olympics and cheat and take away glory from the likes of real women that have worked incredibly hard to actually get to that spot in the first place. Hallelujah for a little bit of sanity, right? So the Court of Arbitration of Sport, CAS, has dismissed a challenge from transgender swimmer Leah Thomas, who had asked the Swiss-based court to reject a policy that would prevent Leah from competing in women's races at elite competitions. In its ruling, which was obtained by USA Today Sports on Wednesday, the panel of arbitrators determined that Thomas did not have standing to compete to challenge the policy created by Swimming's International Federation World Aquatics. So this isn't just about the Olympics. This is well beyond that. So Leah Thomas has lost, and that is a big deal and a huge win for a lot of these swimming legends that are female, actually female, not those that identify as being female, but actual women that work incredibly hard so that they can compete against other women, not cheaters like Leah Thomas, not cheating men. The CAS panel found that for the time being, Leah is not eligible to compete in elite competitions through World Aquatics or USA Swimming, so the policy does not apply to Leah. Leah is currently only entitled to compete in USA Swimming events that do not qualify as elite events. So Leah is still able to compete against the likes of real women in the pool, but they can't be elite events, which means that Leah can't take away from a real woman winning an elite event, which is a good thing. It's a positive thing, people. Thomas is not on the preliminary entry list. Man, that's a hard word to get out. There's some words, I don't know if you noticed, that similarly, that one, can't get it off the tongue properly. Preliminarily, for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to roll off the tongue properly for me. Anyway, for the U.S. Olympic swimming trials, which will begin this weekend in Indianapolis ahead of the start of 2024 Paris Olympics next month, I find it interesting how they're only now doing the Olympic swimming trials, and they're only just picking the people now to go to the Olympics. How about that? It's like right to the wire, people. An attorney for the swimmer did not immediately reply to an email seeking comment. Well, how about that? I wonder why. Thomas competed collegiately at Penn, and in 2022 became the first openly transgender athlete to win an NCAA championship at the Division One level, I should say, and that was against Riley Gaines. And as we know, the complete lunacy that took place as a result of Leah Thomas winning that event, Leah was given the trophy instead of Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines should have been given that trophy, by the way. It was all for a photo op. You know the story. If you don't, go and check out Riley Gaines' podcast, as well as Riley Gaines on several podcasts like Jordan Peterson's one. It's a fantastic story, but one that has outraged a lot of people, including myself. Leah had argued to CAS, World Aquatics, gender inclusion policy, as they always do, which effectively banned transgender competitors from competing in men's or women's races at elite competitions, such as the Olympic Games or World Championships, is discriminatory. They always love to throw out that word, discrimination. You're discriminating against my identity, and that is somehow more important than biology and competing in sports. I find that really absurd and outrageous, but alas, we live in a day and age where apparently identity is far more important than, well, reality. The Federation's policy proposed the creation of open category races for transgender competitors, in addition to categories for men and women. So create a new category, call it the open category. I guarantee you no real woman is going to enter into the open category unless they just want to show up a transgender athlete. But the likelihood of that even happening is quite slim to none. Just saying. They want to compete against other women. That's how it's fair. It's fair competition, people. World Aquatics said in a statement provided to USA Today Sports that it welcomed the CAS decision, calling it a major step forward in our efforts to protect women's sports. Hallelujah. USA Today Sports. I find it fascinating how they actually welcome this decision and they didn't go woke and going, oh, this is a absolute rort. We should be inclusive to transgender people. The poor Leah Thomas, not able to get what Leah Thomas wanted. This is outrageous. No, they actually were like, this is a major step forward in protecting women's sports. Well done to you guys. I'm proud of you. Very proud. World Aquatics is dedicated to fostering an environment that promotes fairness, respect, and equal opportunities for athletes of all genders, and we reaffirm this pledge, the Federation said. Our policies and practices are continuously evaluated to ensure they align with these core values, which led to the introduction of an open category. So that's the way to fix all this, people. Just create a new category and say, hey, if you want to identify as being trans, enter into the open category. See who actually watches it or who wants to compete in it. But you're not going to identify as being a woman and then enter into the female category. No, that's a no-go zone. Thank you very much. We remain committed to working collaboratively with all stakeholders to uphold the principles of inclusivity. Geez, I love that word. It's become such a huge buzzword nowadays in aquatic sports, and remain confident that our gender inclusion policy represents a fair approach. I swear, if someone says inclusivity to me these days, or inclusion or whatever else, it gives me nightmares. It gives me nightmares. Why? Because I'm doing all these videos and all I hear is inclusivity and inclusion this, inclusion that. We've got to include people. Yes, let's include people. There is such a thing as including too many people with insanity, and then you end up with problems like this. Just saying. The arbitral award, which was dated Monday, only concerned Thomas's standings to challenge the World Aquatics policy, not the legitimacy of the policy itself. The CAS panel said in its decision that it considered Thomas's eligibility first and separately as a bifurcated issue. Following a request from the International Federation, Thomas objected to World Aquatics requests, but the panel sided against Thomas. Hallelujah. Well done. Well done, World Aquatics, for bringing back a little bit of sanity and common sense. I'm sure a lot of women, I saw Riley Gaines post this, I saw Sal Grover post this, I saw a lot of people that are in this space that have been fighting against this nonsense. They're all celebrating and they're all very, very happy. And I can see exactly why. Well done. Claps all around, people. Claps all around. Too bad, Leah Thomas. Too bad. Go back to competing against men because that's what you really are. Anyway, my friends, you take care. You be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.